All right, Beef Smokehouse back with you here. I've got some baby back ribs. We're just doing one slab. And we've got a chicken, whole chicken, we're gonna turn into a beer can chicken. Last night, I seasoned this rack of baby backs with garlic powder, black pepper, onion powder, some Lawry Seasoning Salt. This is a secret weapon. If you have it, use it. And then a little bit of sugar in the raw. Not using regular salt because this is salty enough, but this has a lot of other things in it. And this is the less sodium version. This is delicious on briskets, on pretty much everything. All right. So it's set in the fridge overnight with these seasonings on it. I use sriracha as a binder. Sriracha is pretty much a roasted chili paste condiment. I use that as my binder. We have a red tint under it. I can still see the meat. It's kind of what you want. I'm going to let this set out, come to room temperature while I get a fire started on my smoker. Next, we have my whole chicken that we're going to use for a beer can chicken. All right. So the only thing I've done, you see I've got remnants of butter on it. I made my own Cajun butter. I have injected this bird. I didn't want to get that on camera because it's a bit messy. All right. So this has been injected. You can see the butter is starting to solidify because this bird is still pretty cold. Now, it is going to be a beer can chicken. I went and got one of my favorite IPAs. This is a IPA Hopadillo. Really delicious. It's packing some fruity and floral flavor notes. I'm going to try to get some of this beer. Got it here. This is delicious. This is a beer I drink. On the inside of this can, I've got some rosemary, some thyme from the yard. In the bottom, I've got a few black peppercorns. I've got a stick of canela or cinnamon. I've got 2 bay leaves in there. We are going to try and extract the most flavor out of this beer can, right? The issue with beer can chicken, I mean, you can kind of go and browse on YouTube. The issue is getting the liquid inside of the beer can up to a boil to where it steams, and it kind of steams off some of these flavors. It steeps with these fresh herbs and infuses this bird. I've kind of went ahead and given myself a few insurances by injecting with my own Cajun butter. The Cajun butter did have some of the same beer in it and some other spices that I made. I didn't get that on film because it's a bit messy. It's a messy job. So I'm going to take my can here, and then I'm going to put it in the holder. Here's the holder. All right, the chicken goes on top of this. But first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to rub this down. Today on this chicken, what I'm using as a binder is going to be mayonnaise. I'll get this rubbed down and I'll be back with you. All right, here's where we at. Again, it's going to be a bit of a messy job. Forgive me, I ran out of gloves, but I have been washing my hands on and off throughout the process. Now, what we're doing now, I showed you guys the herbs that we have in this can. We're going to take the beer. Again, this is Hopadillo. That's the name of this IPA. I'm going to pour it in there. Going to top it off. There you have it. I might shove one of those herbs. Make sure the herbs are fully submerged. There we have it. That's going to be that. Now, so I've already rubbed this bird down with Kewpie mayonnaise. Kewpie. That's a Japanese mayo. Probably some of the best mayo you can get. The next up favorite will more than likely be Duke's, right? So now we're going to season this bird with my chupacabra brisket rub. It's a salt, pepper, garlic rub. And my Uncle Chris's gourmet steak season. Together, I mean, it's a winning combination. First, I'm going to go ahead and get this bird up on, set up on this can, and then we'll go from there. All right, bird has been seasoned. I'm going to go ahead and start a fire. And I'll get this on first. I need this to get some of that good smoke right when I start dropping the pieces of wood on that fire. Then we're going to go from there. I'll be checking temps every so often. But once I get it on there, I'm not going to be opening and closing that pit because, again, if you're looking, you ain't cooking. Other than that, stay tuned. All right. We are at about 2 hours in on our chicken and ribs. So chicken looking pretty good. I needed to get a little bit more color before I start probing. So I'm actually going to move this over here. I should have took this grate out. I didn't. kind of kicking myself for it now. So I'm gonna move this out of the way. I need to flip my ribs around so we can get some even cooking on those. Looking pretty good, still juicy. We're going to move things around, make sure this chicken gets a little close to this heat. These ribs, I'm gonna leave far back from the heat. We've been cooking around 275 to 300. We're gonna maintain what we got. Again, we're at about 2 hours in. Nothing major. Get out of here, fly. All right, see those baby backs back there? All right. Let me get this situation moved around and I'll be back. All right, we got everything moved around. I'm gonna flip these for about an hour. Those ribs is what I'm flipping. Before I close this, I'm gonna move this chicken a little bit closer to the fire. I need that skin to crisp up, get some more color. In the meantime, got a spritz going on. This is Cholula, apple cider vinegar and sriracha, and a little water. Shake it up. We still gonna keep things moist. I'm not running a water pan in here, so I need that moisture content to be up. We want some crispy skin chicken, but what we don't want is the meat on the inside to be dry. I'm running a pretty hot fire. That chicken actually looking pretty good. It's cooking from the top down, as you can see. I see skin splitting as well as juices running out of the skin, so I know it's gonna be a juicy product. Yeah, we're gonna spritz. You can really smell the apple cider vinegar, but you won't taste it. All right, this chicken has probably about another hour to go before I start probing. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. You see it? Come on now. We're going to take sections off of this chicken. Now, I won't take everything apart on video, but I'm gonna take what I'm planning on eating. It's tender, it's already falling apart. Really, I didn't need that. You can see the pockets in there where I've already injected that chicken. So we've got a stack of ribs and chicken. Now, all right, we finished. This is the final product. We've got the baby backs, which I seasoned last night. I salted, peppered, seasoned salt, garlic powder, onion powder on these loin back ribs in the fridge overnight. So you could say they did brine. Then to the whole chicken, I did nothing to it. I took it out of the package, put it in the fridge to get some of that cold, dry air blowing over the chicken to dry some of that skin out. And here's the final result. Chicken took 2.5 hours. The actual ribs took right at 4 hours with an additional 30 minutes being finished off in the oven. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get a final taste test, and then we're gonna go ahead and close this video out. So I also, while I've been cooking all day, I did me a broccoli cheddar soup. It's delicious. I've already had my family taste it, and they agree that it's delicious. All right, here we go for the taste test. And really, this video was about the chicken. However, you know, there's no sense in starting a fire and not putting other forms of protein on there. It's good. And ribs, you can see that comes off the bone. Go ahead and get some of this soup. Delicious. So here's what I like. The chicken is still moist. So most of the time I'm dealing with chicken can be really bland. I like to either do a wet brine or a dry brine. I really didn't do any of that. I seasoned it right before I put it on the beer can chicken stand. Now, can I taste the beer? No. But I would be foolish not to think that some of that flavor from some of the things that's in that beer can did not infuse this chicken. Now, I was cooking pretty high for this chicken, hence the reason why the top of it is a little dark. I don't mind my chicken being 180 or a bit higher. Most people have a problem and they want to cut into a chicken to make sure it's done. Cook it all to 180. You can do that, right? And it's still juicy. All right, the actual ribs. Ribs are delicious. They're loin backs, right? So loin backs can be typically a little bit drier than spare ribs. They have a little bit less fat and more meat, but it's from the loin of the pig. These are delicious. I like a little bit of sweetness to mine. As you can see, they're coming off the bone. Yeah. So this is my meal tonight. This is what I'll eat tonight and for some of the rest of this week. But I'm getting ready to sit down and watch my Astros. Go Stros. You guys enjoy your weekend.